Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo. Today is Monday, February 15th, and because it's a Monday, that means it's time for What's Sold on eBay. Just like every week, we're going to take a walk through Instagram and look at our photos throughout the week of our packages, just to kind of give you an idea of our volume of the sales that we're sending out every day. Just like last week, I'll give you a spoiler alert. It's bad. Then we'll jump over to eBay, where I've picked out some highlights of the week, some exciting sales, some bolos that you can be looking for when you're outsourcing, and some of our solid bread and butter brands. Even though our volume continues to be down, our overall sales are up. So we're up 30% from this time last year, last time I checked, and about 22%, I think it was, maybe 25% up from the last 31 days. So we're doing 30% better than we were last year at this time, and 22% better than this time 31 days ago. But to me, it feels like our volume is way down. So this means that we're just selling higher priced items, which is always good. If you have to do less volume, you want to sell higher priced items or have a higher average sale price. I would absolutely expect that we are doing better this year than last year. Keith did not join me full time doing this until March 1st, 2020. So in February of 2020, I was still doing this myself full-time with him helping me out part-time. And so I would absolutely expect we're doing better with two people doing this full-time, because you have two people to donate the time to the business. But that being said, the volume being down, the overall sales being slow, and I know it's that way for a lot of you, that is typical for this time of year. I don't think that's just because of COVID or just because of the election or just because of quarantine or shutdown or the unemployment or the economy or anything else that's going on. It is common for the time after Christmas, just before tax returns, for sales to be slow. Folks are out of money. They've spent everything they had on Christmas. Then they spent all of the gift cards and all of the money they were given as gifts. And now everyone's kind of in limbo land waiting for those tax returns. This year, more so than ever, everyone's in limbo land. They're waiting for tax returns and maybe an extra stimulus. So if your sales are down, it's okay. Don't panic. Just keep doing all of those best business practices I've been teaching you for the last 3 years. Do those, you'll be fine. Keep your heads down, keep your nose to the grindstone, and just keep working, keep active, keep consistent. Join the listing challenge I'm currently doing so that you're listing consistently every day, which the algorithm loves. It will help you in the long run. If you're listing every single day, even when sales are slow, when things start to pick up, you'll definitely see the payout. You'll have a lot more items up, a lot more listings for people to shop from when they start shopping again. And of course, doing all of the best business practices every single day will help you to not be as slow as you could be. If things start to get slow and you just kind of give up and you don't do anything and you throw in the towel and you let it affect you and just feel disappointed and don't do anything at all, things are just going to get worse. So let's say you usually sell 10 items a day and it's kind of slow and you're down to 5 or 6 a day. When you throw in that towel, you're going to go down to 1 or 2 a day, and that's even worse. So just try to stay as positive as you can. Keep to those routines, those to-do lists, all those things I've been teaching you guys and preaching for you to do. And remind yourself it's not just you, it's normal. You guys, when they get those tax returns, they're going to start shopping. I promise you. And then check on your seller hub. Are you up from last year? Are you up from the last 31 days? Because I keep hearing from a lot of folks that number is actually up, even though things feel like they're down. And speaking of things feeling like they're down, I don't have a picture from today's shipping because It's President's Day, guys. It is February 15th. We didn't ship today. We'll be shipping tomorrow for a 3-day weekend. But had we shipped today, look here. We're sitting at 15 items right here. You guys can see print labels and ship. There's 15 items waiting to be shipped out. That is a poopy weekend for Keith and I. That's about half the volume that Keith and I should be at. That's half of the amount of packages we should be at for our historical sell-through rate as far as volume. We do have one Poshmark sale as well, so we would be sitting at 16 had we shipped today. The Poshmark sale is poop. It's a really old pair of Ralph Lauren jeans I sourced 3 years ago. I had no business sourcing. I know now it's a mistake. I clearanced them out on Poshmark for $7 because they're paying shipping. So that's poop. And we haven't made a single sale today. So I'm going to tell you that right now. The 15 sales came in from Friday afternoon through last night. We have not made a single sale today. Nothing, nada, zip, zero, zilch. We've had a lot of $5 offers come in today. And there's another decline. We've been fielding a lot of really low ball offers and just, countering it 10% off. That's all you can do. But so, yeah, things are slow for everybody, guys. Just keep grinding away. Like I said, I'm going to show you the things in the highlights of what we did sell this week. It's pretty exciting what we are selling. It's just that volume is down. So you can see this is last week's photo. And we had 17 packages last Monday. So again, about half of where we should be. Only 15 on eBay, 2 on Poshmark. Tuesday, we had 11. So we bounced back on Tuesday, and that can happen. Online sales are definitely a roller coaster. We had 10 eBay, 1 Poshmark. Wednesday, we had 8. Thursday, we had 5. And then Friday, I totally spaced out and forgot to even post on Instagram. I took the photo. You can see I fully intended to, but I forgot. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of those was Poshmark. So we only had 3 on eBay on Friday. If you hear a bunch of noise behind me and crinkling, Keith's trying to be quiet. He's taking photographs. But he likes to crinkle our photo paper, and he makes lots of noise with poly bags. And so I told him to be quiet. He's trying. All right, let's go over to eBay. Let's start with the plush. It's my favorite, and I do like to talk about it. So let's start with the spring Eeyore that we sold. Isn't he stinking cute? He's a tiny little 8-inch Eeyore with a little yellow chicken on his head. And you can see I used Easter and spring as keywords. Make sure you guys are double checking any plush you have that are spring or Easter themed and toss those keywords in the title. They're going to help you sell them. And he sold for $10.30. He was from the Goodwill originally for like 50 cents. And he hasn't shipped yet. He'll ship out tomorrow. He's sitting behind me on our table, but he'll go first class. Next up, we have a Beanie Buddy. This is Nestor Owl. He's a Christmas plush. He was 50 cents at the Goodwill. I let him go for $7.59. He'll ship out first class as well. Another Beanie Boo. This is Rainbow the Poodle. Now, these Beanie Boos can be hit or miss, and I always risk it. I have brought home Beanie Boos that were $20 and $30 and on up that were exclusive or special characters. And I've brought home Beanie Boos like the owl. And this poodle sold for $9.99. When I find them for 50 cents, or like if I find them at church sales in the bins or stuff bags or whatever, I grab them all. I run the risk. I bring them home. I don't mind filler plush or small plush like this. She will ship out first class as well. Next up, we have a vintage Kindergarten teddy bear. He was 50 cents at the Goodwill, and I honestly didn't know what he was when I found him. But now I know what he is, and so if I ever see this tag again, guys, you better bet your buns I'm going to grab it. That's what it looks like. Sorry, it's upside down. But if you ever see this tag, grab it. Gund Incorporated. This is 1986. This is a vintage bear. I did have him up for $50. I had him listed definitely on the high end. You guys know I like to price high, give myself some wiggle room. He is meant for a baby. He's like an infant plush. He's very soft. He has a rattle inside. So I did use the keyword lovey. You guys know that typically loveys are those little square blankets with the little plush. But you can use the keyword lovey for stuffed animals that are intended for babies or infants. I did let this guy go on a best offer of $36. She started at $20, and we kind of bantered back and forth, and I was at $40 when she came at $36. Not really going to argue over $2 because my next move would have been $38, and sales have been kind of slow, so I did let it go at $36. And I was only 50 cents in. That was the cost of goods. He did ship first class. Next up, we have a Heinz pickle. So I had a pickle that I had found at Goodwill for 50 cents, not with a bag. I found a pickle from Heinz for 50 cents outside of the bag a couple years ago, and it sold for right around $20. And I was really excited. And then a couple weeks after that, we went to a yard sale where a guy had a pickle, a ketchup, just a plain bottle of Heinz ketchup, this pickle, a Heinz tomato, and then a Heinz bottle of ketchup and a leather jacket. And they were all in these plastic bags unopened. And he had them out for, I think he had them out for $1 a piece, but I told him I wanted all 4. So he let me have them for $2 for all 4. So they came out to 50 cents a piece. It turns out he worked at Heinz. If you're not familiar, Heinz did get its start here in Pittsburgh. In fact, the original Heinz home of the original gentleman, Mr. Heinz, that started Heinz, is a couple streets over and blocks away from us. And that really pretty Victorian house that's been kept very nice. A little bit of history here. But yeah, Heinz did start here in Pittsburgh. The original Heinz is downtown. And a lot of people around here are either related to Heinz or someone that worked at Heinz or have worked at Heinz. It's a big deal here. Anyway, the gentleman had worked at Heinz, and that's how he ended up with these little plushies in the bag unopened. And when he's like, you can have them all 4 for $2. I had one opened outside of a bag that I had sold for almost $20. So yes, I grabbed all 4. The one in the leather jacket took no time to sell. The other little ketchup had already sold. Heinz ketchup around here, it's a whole thing. Like, it's a big deal. If they don't have Heinz ketchup, like at restaurants and stuff around here, if it's any other brand, people like lose their mind. It's a really big deal. So the ketchups did sell. So the tomato and the pickle have taken a little bit longer. I still have the tomato. She's cute. She's wearing heels and has eyelashes. I believe I still have the tomato. I think she's around here. Anyway, the pickle finally sold for a best offer of $21.59. But that's my story of my Heinz plush. I would still pick them up if I ever found them. Some seem to go really fast, and some are more long tail. But I mean, you're waiting for someone who's willing to pay $20 for a 7-inch plush pickle or bottle of ketchup. So they're obviously going to be long tail, but they are really cute. Keith's grandparents, in fact, have some of these. They're not in the bag, but they have some of these at their house from when his grandfather worked at Heinz. Heinz is a big deal around here, guys. All right. Next up, we have a Hallmark Ladybug. I think this may be I may still have one of these around here still listed, but I may have already been through 3 or 4 of these ladybugs. I've sold several of these. I know I found a couple at the bins way back when, and then I found some at the Goodwill for 50 cents. They're very long tail, but they eventually sell. They're cute little zip around bags. This one sold for $8.99. They ship first class. I do always put them in little boxes because the little antlers are wire. and I don't want them to get bent up. And last but not least, we have some Build-A-Bear clothes. This is an outfit that I just recently showed you guys in a haul video. And I just kind of priced it. I made up a price. I personally don't like to start Build-A-Bear clothes at less than $12. And if it's nothing special, I don't really comp it unless it's, a Disney or something recognizable. I just kind of go off of how many pieces I have and how neat or cool it is or what it's got going on. This one had silver studs. I just kind of priced it at $15. I took a best offer $13.49 on the 2 pieces. Strip those bears, guys. All right, now we're going to get into some clothes. These are Levi's 514 men's jeans. I've said this a couple times in past videos. The Trixies with Levi's, you've got to comp them unless you know, unless you've memorized all of them. And there's so many. I don't even have them memorized. Levi's is pretty much one brand I still have to comp a lot of them, because you've got like the Denizens that go for 20, and then you've got some of the numbers that go all the way up to 60 used. So you got to comp them because depending on the Levi's and the number and everything is what they're going to sell for. So these are the 514 men's straight bouquet. Size 30 is kind of a small size, but still sold. Men's jeans are much easier to deal with than women's. I love selling men's clothing. I took a best offer of $32 on this pair. And these came from, I want to say they came out of a wholesale box, which means they would have been about $2. And they shipped in a padded flat. All right, next up we have a Orlando Magic NBA black basketball jacket. This came out of a recent haul. Average cost, I think, was like $2.75 per piece in that lot. We took a best offer of $20 on this one, and it shipped first class. Sports things. I know nothing about sports, but I'm going to tell you this: they sell. So even if you're like me and you don't know if it's a basketball or a baseball team, you don't know anything about anything, sports sell. And when you go to comp something, it'll tell you what team it is and what state it's in and stuff like that. I just know enough to pick up sports. And the same thing with nerd stuff, guys. Nerd stuff sells too. So you don't have to be knowledgeable about nerd stuff the way I am. I can pick up a shirt and be like, oh, it's Iron Man. You can comp it and it'll tell you what the character is. Or you could ask people. You know what I mean? All right, next up we have this vintage peacock paper men's t-shirt. This is a vintage Capricorn, the greatest by leaps and bounds t-shirt. It's got this tag, peacock papers, and it's 100% pre-shrunk cotton. This came out of an older wholesale lot, so this was about $2. We took a best offer on it of $25, and it shipped first class. Here we have a Wrangler shirt. This one I just found when I was going through our inventory. I pulled it out of our inventory and discovered it wasn't listed. So those evil elves that work at eBay that pull your stuff out and make it not listed anymore took care of that. Yeah, it's important to go through your inventory once in a while, guys, because for whatever reason, sometimes things just fall off of eBay, so you got to make sure things are staying listed. So I don't remember where this came from, but chances are we either paid 99 cents for this or a couple bucks. I discovered it like a week or two ago. We got it back in the store, took a best offer of $21.60, and it shipped first class. Next up, Lucky Brand women's jeans. These were a pair that have been around forever, like forever, years. So I took a look at them. They had horrible, ugly, Star was new and didn't know what she was doing pictures. And so I pulled them out of our inventory. I retook the photos. I put them back in the store. And I decided to drop the price as well and add shipping. And then they sold. So sometimes you got to play with your listings, guys. You don't have to necessarily do both. But sometimes if you notice something is really old and it hasn't sold and your pictures are kind of bad, which, you know, if we're all being honest, I'm being honest. The pictures I took at the beginning were atrocious. They were awful. I had the lighting was bad. They were bad. I didn't know what I was doing. So you can redo your photos. You can drop the price and add shipping. If you've already, if you're already charging shipping, maybe you can raise the price and try free shipping. You can play with the keywords in the title. Make sure you're using the formula in your title. There's a lot of things you can do to try to get old stuff to move. And 98% of the time, almost always, when I do something like that, it'll move. So go back through your stale inventory and find out why it's not moving. Because these have been around forever, and it only took a week after I played around with it for it to sail. To sail? It sailed. It went on a boat and it sailed. For it to sell. So after they paid shipping and everything, the buyer paid $26.86 all in. And I couldn't get these to sell for $18 free ship when they had bad photos. So that tells you something. All right, here's some Joe's jeans. Joe's jeans are a good brand to look for. This pair came out of a thread-up box. So probably about $1.76, maybe $1.80 something probably, depending on how much I paid for shipping on that thread-up box. Joe's jeans are good to look for, and I like them because they have names on them, and any jeans that have names on them almost always have people that are looking for them. People will find that they like that cut or that style of jeans, and then they always want to buy those moving forward. That's the brand or the style. That's the brand and the style that they want to wear, and they'll look for them. And then you can use that as a keyword. So these were a really small size. So they did sit around a while and had their price dropped a little bit. I usually start Joe's jeans around $40, but these ones sold for $30.86. They did ship in a padded flat. Next up, we have some men's Ralph Lauren pants. These came out of a wholesale lot and were about $2 cost of goods. These did sit around a little bit for about a week, and I noticed the pictures were kind of dark, and I'm like, well, let me lighten them up a little bit. I'm just kind of going through our listings. I lightened them up a little bit, and then I noticed how wrinkled they were and how bad they looked. So I said, if they don't sell now that I've lightened up the photos a little bit, I'll go back in and maybe steam them a little bit. But they sold for $31.99. I'm glad, because I don't like having to steam pants. But they did sell, and they shipped in a padded flat. Next up, we have this woman's Soma top. Just black and white striped. Came out of a wholesale lot. About $2 cost of goods. And it's a Live loungewear. It's not even that great of a brand. Personally, if I saw it like out in the wild, I would have passed on it. Nothing I would pick up. But because it came in a wholesale lot, we decided to go ahead and list it. Kind of pleasantly surprised when we comped it. We took a best offer of $20, and it did ship first class. Next up, we have these True Religion pants. These are girls' pants. That's why the price is so low, before you freak out on me. When I have women's True Religion jeans or corduroy pants, I usually start them around $51, maybe $53 if they're specific styles or larger sizes. But these are girls. I knew that because it says row girls right there on the True Religion, but you can also tell because they're a size 14 but have a waist of 25 inches. Women's size 14s typically have like a 31-inch waist. So obviously a 25-inch waist on a size 14 is not going to be a women's, but yeah, these are girls. I got these in my lot from Greg. So the average cost, I think we said on that lot, was like 74 cents per piece. We got tons of stuff from him in that lot. So these are the Joey corduroy pants. They are flare. They're low rise. Because they're girls, I'm obviously not going to price them at $50, but you still don't have to, go all the way to the bottom of the barrel. I wanted about 20, 21 for these, but I did take a best offer of 17, just to get them out the door, and they did ship first class. So had these weighed just a little bit more and been in a padded flat, I probably would have held out for a little bit more money, but I took 17 because they didn't cost that much to ship. Here we have some Victoria Beckham Rockin' Republic women's jeans. Rockin' Republic on its own is a pretty good bread and butter brand. It's pretty solid. I enjoy it. They have like Rockin' Republic for Express. I've seen this Victoria Beckham. They have Rockin' Republic just by itself. I like to pick it up at the Goodwill when I find it on 99-cent day. I can typically get between $20 to $30 for it, depending on the style, the size. The Express and Victoria Beckham usually fetch a higher price. Men's get higher. But I do like the Rockin' Republic. These came out of a wholesale lot, so these were about $2. They got these cute red crowns on the back. So these sold for $28.50, and they shipped in a padded flat. Next up, we have something I had a complete and utter typo in. Excuse me, you can see it right there. These are Boyd's Bears and Friends, and that says boys. It's still sold. Imagine that. So we went through our inventory at the end of 2020. Most of you have already probably heard this, but we're getting rid of the majority of our hard goods as we get ready to move later this year. We are downsizing a lot of our inventory, and we're holding on to shoes and plush. But any other hard goods, especially like poop and really old inventory and stuff like that, we're just trying to get rid of it, whether we're donating a lot of it, and some of it we're just redonating back to Goodwill, and some of it we're trying to find if some places will take it, like shelters and stuff. But because of COVID, a lot of places aren't taking donations and stuff right now. Anyway, long story short, we went up to where we keep all of our inventory, and we went through all of our hard goods, and we kind of decided some of it we were going to let set through Christmas, and if it didn't sell, it was going to get pulled. Some of it got pulled right away. Well, this was something I pulled, and I said, I'm going to list it at the beginning of 2021 and see if it sells by Easter, and if it doesn't, then I'll just donate it, right? So I did list it middle of January just to see if it would sell by Easter because of what it is, and it did sell for a best offer of 17. It shipped first class, but here's the thing. It has a terrible typo, and it's still sold. But I really wish I would have put Boyd's Bears and not Boys Bears. Anyway, I don't even remember where I got this from, y'all. I want to say it came from the bins. And I want to say it has been listed and fallen off of eBay maybe 3 or 4 times since we've had it. It's just something that I keep finding upstairs in our inventory and checking, and it's not on eBay, and I feel like I rephotograph it and I list it, and a year goes by and I find it and I check and it's not listed. It keeps falling off like it was never meant to sell or something. But I did say I'm going to rephotograph it and see what happens. But there it is. It's sold. Look, the pig has a fuzzy tail. Oh, and here's the Boyd's Bears and Friends tag. But it's sold with a typo. You guys watch out. Don't do what I do. Don't make my mistakes. Watch what you're doing. And we did sell another fishing reel this week. We did purchase a wholesale lot of fishing reels. I talked about those in last Monday's video. We purchased a lot of fishing reels, and this is the second one of the 9 to sell. $74.99 on this one, which is cool. So it shipped priority, And I believe this one was a little more expensive. I think it went further. I might have that backwards. The other one might have been a little more expensive. But at any rate, we paid $90 for all of the reels. And the cheapest one sold last week for 40 something. This one's for $74.99. And we got some more offers and some more interest on them this week. We did get we got a whole $18 offer on the one reel that's up for $148, man. The guy wasn't kidding. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Let me know down in the comments what you are selling, what's going on in your stores, how things are going for you. I do love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell next to the subscription button so you're notified when I put up new content. And don't forget to join our Facebook group. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. You can search for it on Facebook or use the handy dandy link down below. It's free to join. It's a really great group. Until next time, go be productive, go make some money, and do all those best business practices I teach you guys about. Okay? And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.